Tintin, because I'm twice as nice, and this is the Drop Hip Hop Uncensored, where I bring you all the stars and rising stars in hip hop la Mzansi Africa. Today, my guest is recording artist, performer, rapper, and songwriter Gvng Sosa in the building. Hello.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for pulling through.
No doubt. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, actually. I'm sure you got that from my manager, right? Told you all about me already. Damn, dog.
He put you on blast,
No,
like,
he did.
literally put you on blast. Now, I want to ask you, when did you fall in love with hip-hop?
Yo, geez, let me tell you a funny story, right? So, funny enough, I was always into house music since I was a kid.
You were that?
Like,
Ultra.
yo,
Ultra,
dude,
it's coming.
Like, I loved house music. So, like, my family actually even bought me, like, a computer. It was, like, back in the day. And, like, I was on Fruity trying to make, like, house beats
tracks
and stuff. So, I really loved house from the get-go. And only because of the fact that it's so, like, soulful and stuff. So, old school house. And one day, my sister threw a house party at the crib. And one of the guys actually left a disc in the DVD. So when they left, I'm there. I'm like,
You're
maybe
checking
when
it
you're
out.
naughty, because like you're thinking, what are they drinking? What are they smoking? Then I checked the DVD and they actually left the disc. And when I played it, it played B.I.G. And I was like, oh shit, like what's this? I was probably like 10, 11. And I heard B.I.G. and I think it was a song called Everyday Struggle. I want to live no more. And I was like, damn, what is this? And I just started playing that. And that was it. I just fell in love with hip hop from that moment on, and ever since I've never actually stopped loving it.
Then you were like, adios to being in the house.
Adios house, bro. I gotta do this. I love this. Yeah.
Now fast forward to from when you were 10 and introduced to hip hop to 2014, where you were in a rap group, and I'm thinking because now that was the peak of crews and rap groups,
no doubt.
called Something Amazing, and then you guys split up. So because of, there's a lot of group dynamics and there's a lot of competition in hip hop itself.
Yeah.
What led to you deciding, you know what, I think it's time, guys, to go our own ways and blossom in our own ways.
Yeah. Geez, funny enough, I was actually telling my manager the other day, I don't actually remember it being an official process of us actually parting ways.
Oh, of saying we're out.
We're out. It just happened naturally, unfortunately. And I think solely because everyone was on their own journey, like we all went to different schools, we're studying different things, lived in different places. As much as we went to the same high school, we've known each other since we were kids. So at that point in life, we were literally just like finding ourselves. And I think for me, most importantly, at that point, I'll be honest with you, I think something that I really like genuinely appreciate is finding yourself as a person. And at that point in my life, I was probably really like a bit lost in terms of what was going on in my life at home and stuff like that. So just venturing out allowed me to actually think before I can actually add value to a group, what am I adding value to myself for first? So I think that's how it actually happened naturally, but positively as well, in the sense that we split, found each other, and now again naturally came back again. That's why Sounds of Something Amazing is back. Yeah.
Speaking of growing, man, you've also grown to be this very lyrical but minimalist songwriter.
Yeah.
In the back then, in the early 2000s, I'd understand when people went hard on beats. But now we're living in a generation where kids are like, fuck radio, fuck TV, internet, rock, amapiano, trap, clout. Are you not afraid of being an underdog for like a long time because people now don't really appreciate the pen that much?
Yeah, geez, you raised a good point, and it's something that I've obviously pondered upon for a long time. But I think for me, look, music is a form of self-expression for me. I'll be honest with you. I was actually telling someone the other day that I grew up in a way that I never actually expressed myself, and I think it's within the black community. If you actually think about it, we don't really talk about our problems. I hate listening to myself talking about my issues, so it actually ended up in my music where I was actually like very honest about my music and very genuine about it. So I think in that regard, I think what I'm trying to say is the outcome of my music is not there for me to be famous or those type of aspects.
But it's your voice.
It's my voice and it's honesty. Okay. And the people that do acknowledge it are the people that understand what I've probably been through. They've probably been through the same. And for me, if I reach those people, then I'm totally happy. I'm like really happy. And which is what's been happening. And I mean, I put out 2 songs. specifically one called Church, and you know I've had people actually hitting me up like, "Yo, that song is deeper than you think."
First time I was told about you, and the West actually told me about you, and I'm like, okay, let me check out his music, because as much as I trust, I'm like, let me check out his music, and I'm not gonna lie, like when I heard it, it felt like I had a very nostalgic moment, you know, and I could resonate with it because even in every family, there's always, you know, that one person who, you know, like it's even just the beat, it's so melodic and it's just like,
no doubt.
And you're out there like just rapping. I'm like, oh, look at you.
No, shout out.
But speaking of Church, what inspired Church?
Yo, Church, jeez, it's crazy because let me tell you a funny story, right? So when I write, and my manager knows, I take my time, and not because I take time actually writing, but I take my time because I think about my thoughts and I think about, okay, if my producer sends me a beat, I listen to the beat. Where am I in my life right now, tomorrow, and so forth? So he had actually sent me a beat. But when Church, he sent me the beat for Church when I was like finalizing the song he had actually sent me. When that came in, I played the beat once and emotions just literally started flowing. And it literally actually came from having a conversation with my best friend who had just gotten a job. And he called me that evening to say, yo, you know, it was like messed up, dog. Like first day on the job. What's happening with the music, dog? You got to get us out of here. And I was like, damn, he's right. And literally that's how Church came about, because there's a part where I say, my other brother got a job and he told me that he hates the hours and he asked me what I'm working on.
I love how you're like, it's either you have a corner office or a corner store.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, because and that was like literally thinking back to like, yo, my cousins, you know, growing up, you know, I grew up in a township, you know, called Attridgeville, even though we moved.
Oh, it's Attridgeville.
Yeah, it's Attridgeville. I'm from Pitori.
You're twanging.
Yeah. Listen to.
What Yo.
No doubt.
Rappers.
You know rappers, Joe.
You gotta wear acha, you know, like
gotta keep it gangster now. Like it's a Pitori. But yeah, when I wrote that, Leon, I was like, damn, like Joe, we have options in life, but they're not a lot. It's like you gotta choose. It's either the corner office or the corner store. Yeah.
Which now brings me into what's going on, because I want to know what's going on in your life as well as your music, but also the story behind what's going on and you just being so vulnerable about your family and your uncle, and you know, it's like we don't hear such stories. I think the last time we heard such stories was with Reason, you know?
True.
It was with Reason. And now you're coming here and you're telling us, hey, dog, if my uncle told me what he was doing, like, I would have quit school. Like, I would have left. Dude, I would have dipped. You know? So now, I want to know, what was your intention between making Church, talking about you and your friends, and, you know, trying to push your music to what's really going on? Because now it's like, is what's going on trying to figure out what's going on with your music?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, actually, so what's going on is very different to Church, right?
Very
different. Solely because, so again, just to go back to history, I went to an art school. So I went to a school called Pro Arte in Pretoria. And so art has always been an interest of mine. And before even music, I used to do a lot of like poetry and stuff like that. So form of expression has always been something that I'm interested in. So what's going on is more of a creative way of me still maintaining the fact that I'll tell you a story about me. So when I got the beat, the first thing that came to my mind was, what's going on with this beat? It's like, it's really busy, right? And I was like, okay, what I'd like to do here is structure it in a way that kind of asks the question of what's going on, but I'm actually really answering it through certain stories of my life. And even in the end, that's why there's that line with the corner store. It's like, that was like the whole kind of closing to say, we don't have options, but you know, if you really know what's going on in your life and you get it together, you
know which to pick.
You know exactly which route to go. 100%.
You are a narrator, right? And I say this because even in your music, as much as you tell bits and pieces of stories of, you know, influences in your life, I want to know, would you ever dibble and dabble in other genres? Because hip hop is evolving, you know. So would you maybe hop onto a house song or like a piano song or R&B or soul? Like would you?
Jeez, I think definitely you mentioned soul. everything that I do, I try and make it as soulful as possible. So even like what you said about the church beat, sometimes I just love how the beat speaks to someone before I even jump on it. So I love that.
I even thought it was a sample. I was like, I tried to Google it.
It actually is.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, like, yo,
Kabadoo,
it is so dope.
It's beautiful. So I like that seamless, putting together of music. So to your point, definitely, I'd love to obviously jump into different genres. I think it's something that I'm already doing in the back end of my music. Just to give you context, I'm already learning how to play piano, for example. I like you said, I also write songs, so I do songwriting for like soulful type of music. So if it's a singer that I'm working with, I'll probably write for that singer. So that's a side of me that you'll probably get to see. And it's not even just about me diving into something because I want to, like, if everyone's doing it. It's definitely still part of my core of being soulful and being purposeful more than anything.
Can you sing?
Oh, no, I cannot sing. Can J. Cole sing? He does that, they got me up on...
No, but it's like, that's like holding a melody.
I can definitely hold the melody. I can definitely do that. But singing, nah, not like fully like notes. Nah. 3 songs, no. Not like that, definitely.
We are now living in very tough times.
Yeah.
Now, how are you surviving? Because obviously there's no gigs.
Yeah.
There's no parties anymore. There's no Pitori Thursdays. There's no...
Bacardi.
There's no Bacardi house parties anymore. You know what I'm saying? So how are you surviving? Do you have a 9 to 5?
Yeah. So I was actually about to say. So I work at a bank during the day, 9 to 5. So how I'm surviving is actually a bit positive for me. If I had to be honest, I have to be in the office 9 to 5 literally. I'm working from home now, which kind of allows me to
also work on your music.
Exactly, work on my music.
I hope your boss doesn't see this.
No, I hope they do actually. They actually know that I make music now.
Oh, okay. At least they know now.
I was like, yo, it had to come out at some point. They saw me in like an article and they're like, and then I'm like, yo, I gotta explain that. But yeah, so maybe like, in a few hours in a day, I can now actually dive into the music. Let me tell you, the funny thing about all of this is that I probably wasn't pushing as much before lockdown, solely because I was probably lost in corporate, trying to push and make it in life. Because I do have a lot of interests, and the corporate side of it's another, and music is another. So I probably wasn't until lockdown, and it was like, yo,
it forced you to be in it.
It forced me to actually think about what am I trying to do that makes me feel fulfilled and happy. And I was like, music is it. So I was like, yo, you haven't actually put yourself out there in a while, so it's something that I definitely got to do because of that.
So now I want to know, can we expect visuals from you? Like, not even just for church's music video and what's going on, but for future purposes. Can we expect any visuals, any promos, any skits?
Yeah, no doubt. I think what's beautiful about my team, again, we like a bunch of creatives. Like, music we're pure about it, and the form of art itself as a whole. Like, everything that we do is not just a song and then now we're doing visuals. Like I was telling my manager, every time I make a song, I'm already imagining the visuals. So like I even write, for example, like I write storylines and stuff like that. So I put that with the music already. So visuals, definitely, it's something that we're working on. We've always been big, by the way, on visuals. Before, obviously, the split up as of Sosa, we used to perform different places and so forth. Everyone would always say how different our setup was. It was always like dark.
It was very authentic.
Like a goat back in the day. And
even with like some of your covers or like your on your feed, there's always that. I'm just like,
and then these ones.
But it's also very dope. Like it's not weird or creepy, but it's just like it's very fascinating because now you want to know what this person was thinking while they were making it. What more work can we expect from you?
I asked my manager in the car, I'm like, should I tell them like exclusive things? And he's like, pew, 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 of course, we gotta do it.
This is why I like your manager.
No, shut up.
Focused.
Focus, gent. He's like,
gent.
You gotta like drop some nuggets. No doubt. So I'm actually working on a project.
Is it an EP or an album?
It's actually an album. And I think for me, like, I mean, because an EP obviously is an extended play. It's something that's small. I don't want to say I struggle to do that, but because everything for me is it's like a piece of art, right?
A body of work.
It's a body of work. So I want you to start from the intro, the whole thing. I want you to learn and hear new things and so forth. So we were like, yo, dude, we're upcoming, but you want to work on an album? And I was like, yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
I feel like also believe in yourself and know that you can, you can drop bars.
Exactly. So I'm definitely working on that, and just as an exclusive, the tape is called Volume 1, Tales of Pitori. I love the title because it just talks about me in terms of the fact that I tell tales. I'm a storyteller, and I'm from Pretoria, so you'll definitely be hearing a lot of my stories growing up and so forth. I mean, church is literally just an example of what to expect in future.
Do check it out, guys. Before I let you go, and I can't wait to see your booth performance. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Yo, low key, unorthodox. Yeah.
And there you have it.
Yeah, that's it.
This was another episode of the Drop Hip Hop Uncensored. Where can people follow you and book you?
Yo, you can follow us on Instagram. It's Gvng Sosa. And then on Twitter, it's Label Gang. And then if you want to book, just hit up the page on Gvng Sosa, and my manager will definitely hit you back. Yeah.
Dollar what you must, guys. Don't forget to tell your people to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. Tell your people to tell their people. Another episode of the Drop Hip Hop Uncensored. Your favorite Black Barbie has reported for duty once again. Follow us on all social media platforms. Twitter, Instagram, the Drop Uncensored. Bona. Your favorite Black Barbie signing out. Bye.